Hi there. Welcome back to Your Money in Real Estate with Richard Dolan. We're going to get into what I always like to be the best part of the show, which is the numbers. Now, before the break, we were talking about, an actual property and how the process is done. And, I think we should start off with, if someone has a certain amount of money, let's pick a figure, $50,000.
Sure.
Okay, if someone has $50,000, okay, which I think, up here, could you buy a duplex or even a home for $200,000? You could buy a condo, pretty small one in Toronto. York region, we can certainly get something a little bigger. I know in Barrie, you'd be pushing a duplex around, maybe even a semi-detached around Georgian, but it's really a tough number. But let's start with that because that number seems to work. So go ahead.
Well, look, Mark, the reality is that for our viewers, they all know that if you were to take, let's say, 900 square feet.
Okay.
900 square feet in Toronto right now will run you about anywhere from $600, $700, $800 per square foot, right?
How about this? How about we do a Canada thing here? So,
sure.
So what did you just say?
So why don't we say it's about $600, $700? So call it $650.
$650.
And you'll have yourself a deal.
Okay.
So $650 per square foot, right?
Okay.
If you were to go to the States right now, let's just say even somewhere along the lines of Daytona Beach, you can actually get in there for about $65 per square foot.
$65. So
That's
100 times less.
That's right.
Okay.
So right out the gate, what you're comparing is apples and apples, and you're looking at 900 square feet. And to put this in for perspective, for those who are internationally based, 900 square feet, my friend just came back from Hong Kong.
Do 1,000 because the numbers work out better that way.
Okay, so what you've got is you'll need about $1.5 million for 1,000 square feet in Hong Kong today.
Wow.
So that's about $1,500 per square foot. So that puts it really in perspective. So in the States, what you're doing is you're buying a lot more real estate for less money. And so that's the first part. In Toronto, for example, I'm not saying we're at a peak, but it sure is quite hot. We've got some condos that are being built and sold for now $1,000 per square foot.
Yep.
You can probably get something for about $400 per square foot.
Yep.
But the point right now is that for especially the first-time home buyers or those who are just newly landed to Toronto, you've got to get into Canada with about $650,000 for 1,000 square feet.
Now you mentioned something at the very first time, which I wanted to actually touch on because I'm dealing a lot with it myself. In the world of developing, it's the replacement cost. And people who are in the lending business, which is what we're really, real estate, where we deal with lenders,
Absolutely.
we deal with appraisers.
Absolutely.
And what they do is they will look at replacement cost. And let's say, at $65 a square foot, please, if there's a developer out there that can build for anything for under $100 a square foot, and we're talking industrial with a concrete floor, that's it, maybe, the replacement costs alone for what you're getting. In other words, forget the land.
That's right.
Just the building
Soft
alone.
cost, hard cost,
the
land.
brick, the wood, everything to do that, you can't even replace it.
Not at all.
Okay, so that's why the first step here is, that's why, for our viewers' sake, I just want to explain that, that you can't replace the actual building. Forget the land cost even.
And just to underline your point, because you make a great point, and it's very valid, and most of our viewers may miss it. And the reason why that exists is because the American developers built far more than the banks were willing to give for, because once that boom crashed, they were left with excess inventory. Americans couldn't borrow, let alone keep the homes that they had, and guess who started to snap it all up? Canadians and Mexicans and Asians and all the rest of the world was buying it up. So back to the example, here's what you've got. So here in Toronto...
So this is U.S.?
That's right, and this is over here Canada.
Okay.
And so if you were to look at Canada right now, what you'd be looking at is you'd be looking at probably the costs to maintain your property. You're looking at it's going to probably be about 1 to 3% possibly of your cash flow.
So I'll just go 3%?
That's right. And if you put underneath that, in terms of cash flow, right now the average cash flow in Toronto is anywhere from 0 to 4% net.
Yeah.
So if you write down 0 to 4%, there's nothing wrong with that. Now, why would you do this for 0 to 4%? It sounds really low. Let's even say it was 0. Well, it's comfortable. It's close.
Yeah.
You get it.
You're right.
And it's safe.
Hands-on management.
Hands-on management. I can drive down to the lake
There's
shore.
no cost to that.
I can go to Barrie.
Yep.
I can head off to Hamilton. I know where it is.
You bet.
So when you look at what's happening in the States right now, and you get through all the costs, so your HOA fees, your taxes.
HOA, what is that?
Homeowners Association, condo fees if it were. So the homeowner association, if you're in a gated community, is the ones who are taking care of the property.
Okay.
The ones who are mowing the lawns and
Is it
such.
like a condo fee?
It's like a condo fee.
Okay.
And so most of the properties that we've noticed that Canadians are buying are inside these gated communities, these HOAs that run them. And the major reason why is because they know the values will stay up.
Okay.
Single family detached outside the walls of sometimes these gated communities, well, you've got yourself a different property manager that has a little bit more cost. But what we're noticing over here on a 65 square foot property is cash flow that ranges anywhere from 8% to 14%.
On this side?
On that side.
Right, okay.
So where's that coming from and why? Well, you've got places like, for example, a place like Atlanta where you can get anywhere from 12 to 14% cash flow. In places like Florida, if you're looking at places like Fort Lauderdale and even Daytona Beach, you're looking at cap rates